Hello everybody, my name is TCG and welcome to my channel. Today I actually filmed this before, but I wanted to go over the format for card discussion. And I did it a couple of days ago, but I didn't like the way I did it, so I'm redoing it. So we're going to get right into it. So I'm going to go over every single red card today, well, with the exception of the Metal Greymon Secret Rare that I've not pulled yet. So let's get into it. We'll start with the two Digitamas. The first one being Yokomon, which when attacking this card, if this card is attacking an opponent Digimon, this Digimon gets 1000 DP until the end of your turn. And then the second one is during your turn, if your Digimon is piercing, you get plus 2000 DP. So in terms of usefulness, I do think this is still the most useful of the two Digitamas in the set. But I've been thinking about it, and I think this one might have some use after all. Because it's not a once per turn, and it's during your turn until the end of your turn. This allows you to restand a Digimon and attack again, and then you'll get an extra 1000 DP again. So there are potential combos that you could do with this, which is, I guess, better than this one. But there's some interesting things you can do with the piercing, and that allow you to do some good damage early game, especially. So we'll set these to the side here, and we'll go into the rookies, or the child level, the level 3s. So right off the bat, this is Dracomon, if I remember correctly. No, it's Monodramon. Digivolves into Justimon. So he's a vanilla, 3k, 0 to evolve, and 2 to play without evolving. It's a nice contender for early aggro because you can play him for very cheap. But it's a 3k, which for vanilla is not very good. But again, for aggro, I suppose, you could make do with it. It's not fantastic, but it is what it is. You got the Agumon from the set, searches the Tamer. So obviously, this is a no-brainer. I think you should probably running 3 or 4 most decks, if you're running Taichi anyway. So otherwise, he's 2000 DP, 3 cost to play, 0 to evolve. And we got the Recycle Agumon, Prof Agumon or Akaise Agumon. If I remember correctly, he brings a card with Agumon in their name back to your hand from the drop area, or the trash, I suppose it's called. When he's played, you return Digimon's name who's contained Agumon from your trash to your hand. So it's a good recycle. Definitely if you're playing Agumon builds, you want to play it. Otherwise, if you don't have any Agumon, it's obviously a skip. It's a 1000 DP, which I think is the worst we've seen. And 3 costs to evolve, or 3 costs to play, 0 to evolve. Pretty standard in terms of energy cost. Then we have Piomon. Piomon does, give me a second here, during your turn, if this Digimon is blocked, you get 2000 DP. So this set has a lot of block counter, and because we're still, the game is still new, there isn't a lot of blockers. So I think if your opponent isn't using any blockers, it's really just a dead card. It's a 3 cost to play, 0 to evolve, 2000 DP. It could be good, like I said, could do some shenanigans with the Yokomon. You play this and then evolve this into it, and then you could evolve something else. And then let's say you attack, they block, you get more DP. Then you restand, you get more DP again when you attack. So these are potential combos. You could do some good shenanigans with that. So in terms of usefulness, situational, it really depends. If I had to choose any red cards as my level 3 from the starters, it would be this Agumon definitely, or the next card that we're going to talk about, Moonshimon. So Moonshimon is very weird. It's a vanilla, level 3. It's a 1 cost to evolve, 3 cost to play. But it has 5,000 DP. This is very important because 5,000 DP for a level 3 is very, very high. And this allows you, even though he costs 1, this allows you to easily get pressure out first turn, definitely. And we're going to go here in the stack of level 4 real quick just to compare. The reason why I think he's so good and he's definitely overlooked is because of this. Most level 4s are around 4 or 5,000 DP. There are some 6,000 DP level 4. But as you can tell from the stack, and they're vanilla. They're very rare and few apart. Most of them are 4 or 5,000. So having a level 3 that you can attack with and potentially do other combos that I'll talk about later, and just body whatever security your opponent throws out, even if you go into this stack right here, this is the ultimates, you see most ultimates have, except apart from the vanilla, most ultimate have 7,000 DP, and you're really not that far off. You're only 2,000 DP off. So let's say, for example, you have Dracmon as your baby Dracmon as your level 2, and you give him piercing. He's going to get 2,000 DP, and already he's going to be a 7,000. Level 3, that's 7,000. That's crazy. He'll be able to body anything pretty much that your opponent throws at him. And there are other combos, again, that you can do, which makes this even easier. You can give him security attack, or piercing, security attack plus, and other bonuses. In terms of potential deck building tip I could give, I'd say the Kuromon from the starter deck, which are not here yet. If I remember, he gives plus 1,000 DP during your turn. So that's really good because then he's a 6k level 3. So I think if I remember, also there's an option that boosts power. I can't quite recall. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, so we're gonna put the level 3s aside. We're gonna go into the stack of level 4. I apologize if I'm sniffly a little bit. It's allergy season, and I'm deadly allergic to pollen. So, stack of level 4. First one here, we got Kokatorimon. He's a vanilla. He's a very weird card. I want to say that he's bad, because he's only a 4,000 DP vanilla. Sorry, 4,000 DP vanilla. He's a 3 cost to play, 2 cost to evolve. The weird thing is the 3 cost to play, because he costs the same thing to play as a level 3, if you're not evolving it from the Digitama area, the raising area. I really need to get some hydration when I do these videos. So, 3 cost to play. Instead of playing a level 3, you could potentially play this instead. This allows you to start your chain at level 4 instead of 3, if you're not going for the Digitama route. So I suppose that's something good that you can do with it. But it's not great. Again, it's a 4K vanilla. It's pretty bad. Then let's get into Greymon here. Greymon's special ability is during your turn, this Digimon gets 2,000 DP. So there's a lot of combos you can do with this, a lot of synergy. This is his inheritance effect, though. It's not when you play him. So if you have the Koromon, and then let's say you have, I think the Agumon from the starter set, or don't quote me on this, also gives extra DP. You can potentially ramp up your level 5 to a ridiculous amount. So other than that, it's a 4 cost to play, 2 cost to evolve, pretty standard. 4,000 DP, that's rather weak, but it is what it is. The best card in the set, honestly, the Jammers. So when they attack, they don't trigger battle, essentially, with the security cards. They do trigger it, but they cannot get destroyed by it. So that's pretty useful, because if you swing, let's say you swing on turn 2, And then they have, I don't know, Wargreymon in their security. This card doesn't get destroyed, so super good. 4,000 DP, it doesn't really matter. You got 4 costs to play, 2 to evolve. Pretty standard, just like the Greymon. So really good, I'd say probably staple. You got the Bergermon. Here's the next card. This one is it's a little crazy, honestly. So you don't have any inheritance effect, but you do have a on-play effect. When he's played, one of your Digimon gets security attack +1 until the end of your turn. So this is really good with cards like Tyrannomon here, right? And there is an option card later that we're going to talk about that can give piercing. So you could potentially attack a resting Digimon with this as your level 2. So he gets piercing, he gets an extra 2,000 DP. So all of a sudden he's at 6,000. And then let's say you have the starter Agumon under it, gains another extra 1,000, so he's at 7,000. You swing, jamming, you destroy something your opponent controls. And then you have this on the field and you give him security attack +1. So you do 2 security check and they can't stop it. So that's a really good combo. Put this back here. And I think it's you could go up to some weird shenanigans with this. So definitely a good card. I don't know if I'd run 4 of, but yeah, there's something to be done with this. Next, let's get into Flare Rizumon. His effect is during your turn, if your memory is 3 or more, you gain security attack +1. So again, this is very good aggro. It's 5 cost to play, 2 cost to evolve. But the thing with this is he has security attack +1. If you play Bergermon, all of a sudden he has security attack +2. And then let's say you play the option card, you can swing and do essentially 3 damage. He's probably going to get destroyed because he's not very strong. But if you had the level 2 and then Agumon also under him, you could get up to maybe 7,000 DP, which is really not that bad. So that's the usual combo, you know. Something to keep in mind. If our first level 4, I guess second level 4 vanilla, the Kokotorimon is a weird one. This one actually is also pretty weird. It's a 6k DP, 6 to play, 1 cost to evolve, vanilla. So the fact that you can evolve him for a single energy is kind of wild. Because he's a 6k, so in theory, if you raise from the Digitama area, you could play pretty much any of these, except Munchamon, for no energy, and then pay 1 and already have a vanilla level 4 that has 6k DP, so that's really good. And you can potentially make him even stronger if you have Digitama for it, or the level 3s for the effect. And then the last vanilla is the Cordramon Green. Wait, no, that's a level 5 actually. That's the evolution of Cordramon Green. My bad. It's Groundramon if I remember correctly. For some reason I always thought it was yeah, it's Groundramon. So this is a level 5, very cheap ultimate. 6k DP, same as, I think that's why I thought it was level 4, it's because the DP should have looked better. So 2 costs to evolve, 5 costs to play, very cheap, even cheaper than in terms of just playing it straight up. Evolves at 2, so for 3 energy, if you go this route, you could have a level 5 and all out. Not bad, but you know, they both have 6,000 DP, so it's not that great anyway. But very cheap to play, I guess. That's about it. The Metal Greymon from the set, the first one, the Vaccine Metal Greymon, I guess. When this card attacks on your turn, you gain +3 memory, and then at the end of your turn, you'll lose the 3 memory that you gained from the attack. It's a 7,000 DP, 6 costs to play, 3 to evolve, pretty standard. The thing is, in terms of usefulness and accessibility, this card is not that high. You usually don't want to give your opponent too much gas unless you're really going for big plays. So, you know, you swing with this, you get 3 energy, you play Wargreymon or something like that to really maximize, and then anyway they'll be at like +8. So the 2 extra memory they gain doesn't really matter. But it's iffy in terms of usefulness. We got Garudamon here. So Garudamon, if I remember correctly, he has piercing and is inherited effect. On your turn, if he is blocked, you draw 1 card. So it's a good draw engine. That's essentially what it is. It's a 7 cost to play. That's pretty high. 3 cost to evolve, and 7,000 DP. So otherwise, pretty useful. It's a draw engine. So not much to say about it other than it's useful. And it also has piercing, so it works with the baby Drachmon. That's right here. Now we're getting to the weird stuff. The Skullgreymon, he has, if I remember correctly, when he's played, you destroy one of your opponents with, you destroy one of your opponents with blocker. 7,000 DP, 7 to play, 3 to evolve. Pretty standard again. This is great in theory. If your opponent doesn't play any blockers, he's a dead card. He's essentially a vanilla, but less good than a vanilla. So, is it good? Yes. Could it be better? Also, yes. There's an option in this set that allows your opponent to give blocker to a Digimon. So if you're playing against red, you know they're playing this card. I suppose this is a good counter. Otherwise, you know, if they don't play any blockers, it's kind of a dead card. Let's set that aside. And then our last level 5 vanilla is Metal Tyrannomon. Actually, really surprised that they printed him in the first set. I was really happy when I saw it. 10,000 DP, really high. Level 5, 7 cost to play, and 3 to evolve. So pretty standard in that portion of it. But 10k, definitely something to reckon with. And if you, like I said, if you have the plus DP combo, you get this up to 12, 13,000 pretty easily. So for level 5, it's really not that bad. We'll set these aside, and we'll go into the level 6. So the first one is War Greymon, and if I remember correctly, he has security attack +1. So when he's digivolved, he gets security attack +1 until the end of your turn. And on your turn, when this Digimon security check reveals an option card, the card security effect does not activate. So this is a very, very good card. It's one of the chase SRs in this set. Obviously, you swing with it, they get potentially an extra card that could save them. It doesn't activate because of the effect, so extremely, extremely useful card. 11,000 DP, 12 to play, 3 to evolve, and that's it. Really useful, really good. Definite staple. Like I said, one of the chase SRs, that's why it's worth so much. So I got pretty lucky and I pulled one. Hopefully I'll be able to pull more than one if I'm ever going to build red deck. Then we have the good old Bright Dramon, if I remember that. Yeah, Bright Dramon, that's the name. So he has piercing, which is pretty alright. Otherwise, it's essentially what a vanilla would be. It's 11 KDP, 12 to play, that's pretty high, but 3 cost to evolve, standard. So again, with the baby Drachmon, you can do some pretty decent shenanigans. Set this to the side. We'll go into our tamer and options next. So the first card we're going to look at is the tamer Taichi. So put them right here. So all the tamers in this set pretty much do the same thing. It really boils down to the same thing, at least. So at the start of your turn, if your memory is 2 or less, it becomes 3. So it's good if, you know, your opponent passes and they're at 1, then it puts you back to 3. So it allows you to get a little bit more control on the game state. Then during your turn, all your Digimon with 4 or more Digivolution source get security attack +1. And you can play this card without paying the cost if it's revealed as a security check. So really good. If you have War Greymon again, you could potentially get security attack +2 with it. So reveal 3 security cards instead. Sorry. And if one of them is an option card, it doesn't get triggered. So very good. Very, very good card. And next we're going to go into the option. The first one being Gravity Crush. It is the Digimon option card. It's right there. So it costs 0. It gives you 2... Oh, I just clicked off the link that I had for the translation. So it gives you 2 memory, and at the end of your turn, essentially they take away the 3 memory. It's what is essentially the Metal Greymon, except you don't have to attack with it, obviously, because it's an option card. And it doesn't have any security trigger, which is the only downside to this card, honestly. Because otherwise it's pretty good. If you had the Metal Greymon out, you swing, you get 3. You play this, let's say you play this 2 times, you get essentially +7. And then you can play a bunch of stuff. And then you can, when you're low, you drop your big monster, takes them all the way to 10. And they don't get the bonus memory anyway. And you made a bunch of plays during your turn. So, really good card. Second card we're going to talk about is Scrap Claw, if I remember. Yeah. I'm just going to read it real quick. Okay, yeah, so this is one of the combo cards, the options. So it gives one of your Digimon piercing for the turn. So again, if you have this as your Digitama, very good option. Since we're talking about option, I'll go into this briefly. The options, from what I've seen, you don't want too many of them in your deck. I'd say probably 4. 4 is honestly limit, I think. 6 might be pushing it. So you really want to choose which option you want, because they really limit how aggressive you could be, especially in aggro decks. So I'd say definitely prioritize cards that you have on a board so you can attack with. There are option cards that are definitely stable that you want to have 4 of. For example, there's one in yellow that reduces the security damage that you take during the turn, so that's really good. It's incredible. And there's also the Brave Shield that in red that gives blocker. It's also a really good card. So next card we're going to talk about is Atomic Laser, or Nuclear Laser. But this here, it gives you draw +2, and one of your Digimon gets 2000 DP for the turn. So again, this is really good if you're going for very early aggro. You can play Moondramon with the Agumon, or not the Agumon, sorry, the Koromon from the starter set. Then he essentially goes up to 6000. You can play this, get him, let's say you Gravity Crush, and then play this. And then it's still your turn. Your Moondramon all of a sudden is at, 8000 DP. You can swing easy and he's probably not going to get destroyed. And then, play War Greymon or something. It takes them all the way back to 10, so you don't lose anything from the gravity. Yeah, so you do some pretty cool shenanigans with this. Then let's go into the next one. If I remember, this is Cyclone Claw. I might be wrong. Great Tornado. Similar, not quite. So on your turn, one of your Digimon gets 2000 DP and security attack +1. If it's triggered as a security check, you get it added to your hand. So it's one of the best options if you're going for aggro. Obviously, I'd run this probably over any of these. The reason being, you drop, let's say you drop Birdramon, you give security attack +1 to something. You drop this, you give security attack +1 again. So all of a sudden you're at security attack +2. And if you give it to Flarizamon, you go up to security attack +3. So you do 4 security checks with just that card. So super good. Then this is the Skull Greymon option card. I don't think that's what the name is, but the attack is called Ground Zero. Let me just check. Is this what it's actually called? It's called Oblivion Bird. I suppose it's censored because Ground Zero is not necessarily very good for the West. So the main effect, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with blocker. Security effect, security, activate this card's main effect. So again, similar to the Skullgreymon. If you have Skullgreymon, honestly, I'd say probably don't play it. Unless you really are hoping to get it as a security card, because 5 is a very steep cost, and Skullgreymon does the same thing. Speaking of which, I think we're gonna get the English translation soon, because some of these cards, like this one, the original name for the Skullgreymon attack was actually Ground Zero. It was not Oblivion Bird. So the fact that the translation, the literal translation for it is Oblivion Bird, tells me that they're probably taking into consideration the Western release, or the English release at the very least, in my opinion. So I suppose that could be good news, depending on your perspective. And then the last option that we're going to go over for today is the Brave Shield. So on your turn, one of your Digimon becomes active, and it gets blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's a very good card if you know you're getting low, your opponent's going to attack and they don't have any answer. You could do this. It's very good. And if it gets triggered as a security check, one of your your Digimon becomes active, and he gets blocker until the end of this turn, which is their turn. So again, very good. It could be very clutch. I think that's one of the best options in this set, to be completely honest. And lastly, I'm going to do this card in this video. I could be doing it in blue as well, but I have a surprise for the blue video, so instead I'm going to do it in this one. So Omegamon, fun fact, I actually pulled 3 of them, so I nearly got my playset. Omegamon is the only level 7 so far in the game. It evolves from a level 6 for 6 energy, whether it's blue or red, so to signify the Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon. And it's a 15 cost to play, which is impossible to play because the gauge only goes up to 10. So, I mean, is it actually, now that I think about it, you could still play it if you had 5 or more memory, I think. That's a steep cost. Probably wouldn't play it, but I suppose it can be done, now that I think about it. So, let's take a look at the effect here. He has 15,000 DP. Very good. Level 7. When he has Digivolve, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's Digimon with the same name as that Digimon. So, let's say they have 3 Wargreymons out, 3 different Wargreymons. You drop this, all of them dies. Because it's not card number, it is Digimon number. So, same thing if, let's say, we're probably going to get this mechanic eventually in the future. Tokens. Let's say they have a token. Hit that token, all of them dies. It's a very, very good board clearer. And when he attacks, by removing 1 level 6 Digimon from this card's evolution source, and adding it to your hand, this Digimon become actives. So it's essentially a dual strike 15k. So, incredible card. Another one of the Chase SRs. So, that's going to be it for today. I have most of the blue cards sorted out already. They're over here. Just got to sleeve them up and do the video some other time. But I hope you guys enjoyed the format. It's definitely a lot less cluttered than last time that I tried doing it, so I'm probably going to upload this one. And hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.